think I can maybe do the intro from my brain.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Now that I've said that, I'm going to fuck it up. Good evening. You're listening to Myth and Mist, your one-stop podcast for thrillers, chillers, and killers of the Pacific Northwest. I'm Genevieve.
I'm Haley.
Thanks for tuning in. Oh,
You did good.
That was off the books. Right out of the
Professional
old brain.
Well done, well done.
I might have gotten the order wrong. Thrillers, killers, and chillers. Or is it thrillers, chillers, and killers? It doesn't matter.
I can't ever remember if it's myth and mist or if it's mist and myth, but
It's myth and mist.
Yeah.
Did I say myth and mist? It doesn't matter. I think I did it.
I think you said it right.
It was fine.
You said it perfectly.
We're going to go with it.
Yeah.
We're going to just believe that I said it
Yeah.
properly. So we are hunkering down for another evening of thrills and chills. How has your week been?
My week has been really good. Sometimes I write down things to talk about beforehand, but I didn't for this episode. So, actually, I know that I am so lucky for this, but my job has unlimited PTO, and I'm taking off 2 weeks right now just to because I can, and it's been awesome. I've been off for 1 week, and I have one more week. The rest of this week I'll be off. And last week, Jordan and I went to Mount Hood to celebrate our anniversary. It was really nice.
I did see a little video.
Yeah.
It was very cute. Did the dogs go?
They did.
Oh.
Yeah. They actually don't really like going places very much. They prefer to be at home.
So do my boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's a good thing, though. I think that just means that we've created a very comfortable little homeostasis for little, little habitats for these guys where they're comfy.
They're happy and they're safe. And they know.
Yeah, it's their spot.
Let's see. This week, I went on a hike today. I went to Molten Falls, which is a really beautiful hiking trail that's like an hour or so from Portland. It's in Washington, past Vancouver. I like going for fall color. It's like a nice autumn hike.
I was a little worried that we weren't going to get that much fall color this year because it seems like it is happening kind of late, and then all of a sudden shit popped off.
Yeah, it took a while.
I'm like, ooh.
I went to Forest Park. No, Washington Park. I went to Hoyt the other day, and there is so much color. A lot of those aren't native, so that is like one of the best spots to go for fall color, because like a lot of our native plants don't give us a lot of color here in the Pacific Northwest, but
yeah, lots of pines.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it was really beautiful.
I love this time of year.
I do too.
It's so pretty. Although this is around the time of year that I do start getting really sad because October just always goes too fast.
It goes so fast. Like it's what you look forward to all year.
All year. And then you only get 31 days.
Yeah.
It's not enough, quite frankly. I think October should be year round, but
Agreed. Agreed.
We don't make the rules.
No.
We should, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have a story today that takes place in one of the, like the second neighborhood that I lived in when I moved to Portland. So when I first moved to Portland, I lived in Southeast on like 60th and Flavel, which is like now that I've lived here for a while, I'm like, that's not far out at all. Mm-hmm. But it felt so far. Yeah. When I didn't have any idea of like the actual layout of Portland, I was just like, oh, there's nothing out here. I'm so isolated, And I didn't know anyone. I couldn't really walk anywhere. So it felt like very, very isolated. And then we moved after like 3 months or something to the Sunnyside neighborhood in Southeast. We lived like by Bare Bones. I mean, you went there. Yeah. You went there a bunch to that apartment. And that is where the story that I have today takes place.
That apartment?
Not that apartment, but like 6 blocks from there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think if I don't think that I have any content or trigger warnings for this particular episode compared to a couple of the other ones that I've done. This one is, I mean, there is death, so it's not chill, but I'm not going to mention,
Like cozy crime.
Yeah, it's
Cozy
not.
death.
And we're not going to be talking about atrocities committed against children in this episode. Thank God. So, that being said, the Sunnyside Environmental School is a K through 8th grade facility offering a specialized environmental-focused curriculum. The school is named for the Southeast Portland neighborhood in which it's nestled, a neighborhood whose motto boasts proud past, bright future. The school itself houses 450 students in its walls, with a student-to-teacher ratio of 18-1. It aims to teach Portland children about the importance of sustainability and environmental justice through, quote, culturally responsive teaching practices, fieldwork, and Spanish language immersion programs. Its brick exterior is softened by lush native foliage, student-run gardens, and floral murals. In the warmer months, chickens from the school's chicken coops can be seen roaming the grounds, occasionally venturing onto sidewalks and being gently ushered back by an amused pedestrian. Despite its noble mission and the quaint charm of its campus, Sunnyside Environmental School is also home to a gruesome mystery, an act of violence so baffling that its perpetrator remains at large even today, 34 years later. In the early morning hours of September 16, 1991, Sunnyside neighborhood residents were awakened to the sounds of a struggle. Witnesses reported hearing screams coming from the direction of the elementary school. Police received multiple calls from the concerned citizens, and several squad cars were dispatched to the area. Upon their arrival, all was quiet, but a search of the surrounding campus would yield a grisly discovery. Around back of the school near the flagpole laid a man motionless in a pool of blood. Paramedics were immediately called to the scene, but the man was pronounced dead shortly after their arrival. He was identified as 50-year-old Robert Duncan, a custodian at Sunnyside. Everyone knew Robert. He had been employed by the school for 15 years. His coworkers described him as even-tempered, quiet, and hardworking. Now he was dead, murdered on school grounds. His cause of death ruled as stabbing. He was found unarmed, so likely caught off guard by his attacker. As police processed the scene, they noticed that Duncan's wallet was missing. It was confirmed that he'd left the house with the wallet in his possession, so the murder was initially presumed to be a case of clear-cut robbery, something of a mugging gone wrong. Police spoke to several witnesses, all of whom said more or less the same thing. They heard screaming and saw a, quote, heavy-set woman in dark clothing fleeing on foot from the general direction of the school. The alleged suspect was a black woman, approximately 25 to 30 years old. One witness claimed to see a woman fitting this same description throwing an object away in a trash can before hurrying down the block, entering the gas station on Southeast 39th and Belmont. She was described as, quote, wearing a dark blue security guard type jacket with a fake fur collar. Officers searched the trash can the witness identified and found Robert Duncan's missing wallet. It's unclear if robbery was indeed the motive, as the contents of the wallet upon its recovery were not disclosed to the public, nor were any subsequent leads or the names of any persons of interest ever released, and the case quickly went cold. In August of 2013, Crime Stoppers of Oregon announced they would be releasing a deck of playing cards featuring the faces of the victims of 52 cold cases, spanning from Portland all the way to Southwest Washington. Robert Duncan is featured as the Nine of Spades. These decks were distributed to local jails and prisons, as well as sold in plaid pantry markets across Oregon and Washington. By all accounts, Robert Duncan was a reasonable man who led a private and quiet life. His surviving family spoke of him as kind, humble, and generous. At the time of his death, Duncan worked full-time at the school and additionally cared for his disabled wife. No one, authorities included, have ever been able to offer any explanation as to why Robert Duncan's life was taken in those quiet twilight hours 34 years ago. At least nothing beyond a crime of opportunity. Who was the woman seen fleeing from the scene that day? It seems neither prudent nor appropriate to cast speculation. However, here are some statistics that could affect this case through its current lens. According to a 1998 study by the U.S. Department of Justice, nearly 3 in 4 violent victimizations committed by female offenders were simple assaults, or an assault that, quote, causes someone to fear physical injury. Simple assaults can include the threat of imminent physical danger, not necessarily the act itself. About 1 out of 7 violent offenders described by victims was a female. Women accounted for 1 in 50 offenders committing a violent sex offense, including rape and sexual assault, 1 in 14 robberies, 1 in 9 offenders committing aggravated assault, and more than 1 in 6 offenders described as having committed a simple assault. More than half of female violent offenders were described by victims as white, and just over a third were described as black. About 1 in 10 were described as belonging to another race. 3 out of 4 victims of violent female offenders were other women, so violent offenders most often victimized persons of the same gender. Nearly 2 out of 3 victims had a prior relationship with the female offender. Male and female violent offenders differed substantially in their relationship to those they victimized. An estimated 62% of female violent offenders had a prior relationship with the victim as either an inmate, relative, or acquaintance. With these statistics in mind, I find the likelihood of Robert Duncan's murderer being a black woman with no prior personal history or connection to him to be extremely unlikely, even as a crime of utility or circumstance. Clearly, unlikely does not equate impossible, but it does add an additional layer of confusion to an already bewildering and senseless loss of life. So, I wanted to talk about something that I was reading about, because this case doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons. So I wasn't aware of this until I started kind of looking into it more. But I wanted to talk about types of murderers. So this speaks to, right, the incentive or the motive of the murder often. So there are different types of murderers. So why are they killing? One type is the power control murderer. So they're killing to assert dominance over another person. It's a type of murder you see a lot of the times in like an abusive spousal relationship. Okay, so that's just one example, but that's one type where it's like the reason for the murder is because they need to control. They need to have the power, and so the murder happens. The lust murderer. So this is killing as a sexual compulsion. This is where a lot of serial killers come into play. So we're talking about someone who has a paraphilia for violence, inflicting pain, i.e. John Wayne Gacy, Richard Ramirez, Dennis Rader, like the really famous ones that are sexual sadists. That's why they kill, because it arouses them. We have the emotional murderer. So revenge would fall into this category, or potentially someone who kills out of fear, right? So maybe someone suffering from battered woman syndrome, someone who kills to escape an abusive relationship, like Lorena Bobbitt or Centoya Brown-Long. And then we have the utility murder. So these people are killing because they have something to gain by the loss of another person's life, right? A lot of the time it's money. That tends to be kind of more of like a long game. That's not like a bang, you're dead. It's kind of like a slow burn. But it's not always money, right? Like, one example would be Susan Smith. She murdered both of her young children because she wanted her boyfriend to stay with her and he didn't want to date a woman with children, right? So there's something to be gained. Like the murder serves a utility.
Okay.
So after reading about all of this, from what I've gathered from everything that I read, women tend to fall into either the emotional or the utility category of murder. For the most part, there's always exceptions, but those exceptions are fairly uncommon. They tend to not be lust murders. It's very rare. They tend to not be power control. It's very rare. And they tend to not just like fly off the handle and kill as much as men, who are the worst. Women murdering is, compared to men committing murders, is fairly uncommon. But to have a black woman commit a murder is extremely uncommon because most female offenders are white, based off of, data that's been acquired for years and years and years. To have a random black woman stumble across this man at a weird time and just decide to kill him, be it for money or she just felt like to me it just is, it doesn't
Yeah.
You know what I
Make a lot
mean?
of sense. Like,
it's just, it doesn't make sense to me. You would have to be extremely desperate to just walk up to the first person you saw and demand money from them at knife point.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, you're probably not going to get away with it, right? Because you're not thinking clearly.
it was at the school too, right?
It was it was on school grounds. Yeah. So the flagpole is kind of like in the part, like the blacktop. So it was, you have to like walk onto school grounds to get there. So I'm like, and nothing that I read said exactly what time it was. To me, early morning could mean 1 a.m. or it could mean 6 a.m., So I'm like, if it's 1 a.m., what's he doing there at that time? If it's 6 a.m., is he coming? Is he going? Like, I just have so many questions. Another thing, if this hypothetical woman was so unhinged that she just kills a stranger in cold blood for like a couple bucks, you'd think she would be acting erratically, right?
Yeah.
Like, she would draw more attention to herself, you would think, than just someone saw her like leaving. And then this man was stabbed to death. None of these witnesses said anything about there being any blood on this woman. You stab someone to death, that's messy.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if her clothes were dark. It's going to be on her hands. It's going to be in her hair. If there's spatter, it's probably going to get in her face.
Yeah.
If she stabbed him multiple times, it's possible a lot of the time what happens is the handle of the knife can get really slippery and the person doing the stabbing will actually slip and cut themselves. You'd think he would have tried to fight her off. It doesn't say anything about nobody saw any kind of defensive, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, if this woman stabbed this person to death and then immediately left, there would probably be a trail of blood. There would be blood on her skin, clothes, something, She would be bloody.
Right.
It's also the case that women tend not to stab as a means of committing murder. I mean, if it's like self-defense, but traditionally they tend to do less hand-to-hand. They're be more likely to poison someone or maybe shoot them from a distance. Stabbing someone is a really personal way to execute someone. It's also way riskier because you're closing the gap between them. So there's more of a risk to you that they could potentially get your weapon from you and turn it on you.
Did you say how old the janitor was when this happened?
I believe he was 50.
50. Okay.
Yeah. It says the witnesses say that this was like a 5'2" woman. I mean, that's our size.
Yeah.
I don't think I could, even if I blitz attacked them, I think it would be pretty hard, unless I was like...
Yeah, 50 is not old.
No. And it doesn't make any mention of how large this man was or like what kind of shape he was in, but it still just seems weird to me. It also is the 90s, so DNA, like forensic DNA, really started becoming an asset to solving cases. I think 86 was the first one. So by 90, it was pretty regularly established that, like, yeah, this is something that we can use, You're telling me that this guy got stabbed to death. There's no DNA. There's no fingerprints on his body. There's no fingerprints on the wallet.
Yeah.
There's none of their blood. Again, like, they could have cut themselves. He could have their DNA under his fingers. There's no, we didn't check, any of that. And now too, especially like genetic genealogy and like there's so much more. There's so many tools I feel like that could be used that if there was any DNA, people could plug that into a database. And I don't know. To me, this is just really weird. Like everything about this is just really, really weird.
Is there any like front runner theories?
Nothing that I could find.
Interesting.
It seems like this case just went really cold, really fast. And there's not really, at least publicly, any other suspects, any other theories, any other, like, people of interest that have been mentioned or talked about. I'm just like, you can't stab someone to death and then just, like, go to a gas station. I mean, there's, like, it's messy.
Yeah.
Human beings have so much blood in them. Like, if this shit would have gotten everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just, I don't know. It's just really weird. And why would they take the wallet and then throw it in the trash? Like, that doesn't make really any sense to me either. You'd think if they were taking the wallet, they were either going to steal it or they were taking it to, like, hide his identity, but he works at the school, so they're going to know who he is right away anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it just, it's really
like,
weird.
Very unclear motive.
Yeah. And I'm just like, what are the odds that some woman is just going to see this guy in the school parking lot, having never seen him before, no prior connection, no idea who he is, and just be like, I'm gonna stab this guy and take his wallet and then throw it away and then go to the gas station. Like,
yeah, maybe it was like vigilante justice. Like, no, actually, you know what? I don't want to go there because that's not fair to the victim. We have no idea if he was a good person or a bad person, so I don't even want to project like a theory.
I just have no idea.
Yeah,
and I tried to find like any kind of information on him because I was curious. I feel like when I look this stuff up, there's always so much information about the murder scene, the murderer, where it's lacking is like, I want to know like about the person who's victimized. Like, what were their hobbies? Like, like, did they have pets? Like,
there's always so much more focus on the murderer than the victim.
Absolutely. And I understand if like, if the family doesn't want that kind of information being publicly released, like, obviously respect, but I would like to know, these people lose their lives, and I would just be curious to know a little bit more about them other than, how, I feel like if I died gruesomely, I wouldn't want that to be all people remembered me for,
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh yeah, that was the bitch that like got fucking decapitated by that guy. Like I would want them to remember like other things.
Definitely.
So I don't know. I could be completely wrong. I probably am. It just seems like all of this just seems like a far stretch.
What do you think about the playing cards? That almost feels like it's in bad taste and really
really
strange.
Weird. I understand. Like, I get what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to be like, here are these unsolved cases, let's give them to people who are incarcerated, and maybe one of them will be able to make a connection to this to somehow, solve it. And that could
Interesting.
benefit them as well, Maybe they could provide information and get some time off their sentence if they're serving for, so.
Okay.
Like, I get it.
Why were they also sold at Plaid Pantry?
I don't know. I think that it does seem pretty gross. I think that the goal was to just try and circulate it. And it's kind of like the missing kids' faces on milk cartons thing, where they're like, let's just get as many people to see these as possible. But
You're
then
not turning it into a game, though. Like, you're not turning those faces into a game.
Oh, but then, too, it's like, maybe don't sell them. Maybe just, like, give them away.
Yeah.
Like, it seems weird for anybody to be making a profit from, like, a bunch of unsolved murder victims.
Yeah.
That is weird. Don't sell. That's weird, yeah. I think it is kind of yucky. It's kind of gross. I think they were aiming for, like, the milk carton thing, where they're just like, let's get these faces. Let's have people see these faces in the hopes that somebody will be like, oh, I knew this. And, but it was gross, and I don't think it actually ended up working, because I don't think they stayed in circulation for very long. It was just like, oh, let's try this, and then it didn't work, and so they pulled them. But
well, would you like to hear about some haunted schools?
Since we're talking about schools, yes, I would love to hear about the haunted schools.
Okie dokie. Kennedy School is a former elementary school that originally opened in 1915 and closed in 1975. It is now a hotel, brewery, and movie theater owned by McMenamins. It is said to be haunted by many spirits, including an undead boy and a little girl, who allegedly died by suicide in her classroom after school hours. A former employee of Kennedy School wrote an article for Vice magazine about the property's ghosts. According to the author, Cynthia Major, she only received a few reports during her 2 years as hotel manager and was able to witness one herself. I'm going to read her account. This is all pulled from her Vice article, which I will link into the show notes. I had just started the job, and it was in the afternoon when I was sitting at the desk. 2 older women in their 60s came running down the main hallway of the property that connected the restaurant, bars, and theater. They were both pale in the face. I then noticed that one of them was crying hysterically, so I asked if they were okay and if there was anything I could do to help them calm down. One of them told me, "We were in the restroom down the hall, and what we witnessed we can't even describe." I gasped and told them to please have a seat and tell me what happened. Here I was thinking I was being pranked. The other woman began crying hysterically and ran out of the building. The older woman calmed down and told me what she saw. She said, "We were both washing our hands in the restroom, and when we looked into the corner of the ladies' room, there was a little boy who you could completely see through. He was going around in circles and circles and circles. He was dripping wet. We didn't know what to do, so we immediately left the bathroom and ran out here. Whatever you need to do, you need to help that little boy and his soul. He is lost." From there, she left. I wanted to get her name and number to follow up, but she was really freaking out. My colleague and I stood there talking, and eventually we went to scope the restroom area. At that point, a huge gust of wind lifted my dress. It was a warm day. We both started shouting. The presence of whatever that was sent chills up and down my spine. Moments later, we walked inside the bathroom, but we didn't see anything. The hotel also has a ghost log where guests can leave their chilling tales. I'm going to share a few of those as well. This first entry is an entry by Beth from July 10th, 2017. My husband and I stayed at the Kennedy School recently. When we walked around, I had thought I felt children nearby, so I was not surprised when I was awakened by a touch on my foot around 2 a.m. and heard the conversation of what sounded like a little boy and a little girl discussing whether or not they could get me to play with them. As I did not feel like playing and it was quite chilly in the room, I didn't move. I felt another touch before they got bored and quickly left. They seemed friendly and lonely, but it would not stop me from staying there again. Another entry from Chantel Pentland from July 28th, 2018. My family and I stayed at the McMenamins Kennedy School right before the UFO convention in 2016. The hotel was beyond amazing. That night, I woke up in the wee hours in our school room, but I was not able to move or talk. It felt like I was being held down and something was covering my mouth. My 3 boys and husband were in the room and I could hear them sleeping but could not scream for help. I was up for a while and then must have fallen back to sleep. I told them all in the morning but quickly forgot until one of them recently reminded me. A ghostly experience or sleep paralysis? I can't say, but it was haunting. And an entry from Kate from October 26, 2019. I stayed at the Kennedy School and woke up at 2 a.m. to what sounded like a little boy crying and 2 adults trying to console him. It might have been my neighbors in the next room, but I'm not sure. Shortly after, I woke to what felt like a child jumping on the bed near my feet. I was scared but fell asleep somehow. Then woke up to the jumping sensation near my head a little bit later. I also had filled a glass of water for bed, leaving it on the desk across the room, but woke up to find it empty. I know I hadn't been out of bed to drink it in the night because I was scared to get up. I was alone in the room. Creepy for sure. Insert creepy music here, Jordan. The next stop on our haunted school tour is the University of Portland. The university is reported to be haunted by multiple spirits, including another wet ghost.
Ooh, wet ghost.
The University of Portland is a small private Catholic university founded in 1901 with a student body of about 3,700. It is located near the St. John's neighborhood in North Portland, overlooking the Willamette River. Disembodied voices, pots and pans flying off the wall, a mysterious little ghost girl, and unaccompanied piano music are all real things that people have experienced on this campus. The first ghost that we're going to talk about is my guy, Frank Houston. Frank was a crabby old Protestant who didn't like priests. In the early 1900s, Frank owned the land the Commons was later built on and refused to sell to the university unless they gave in to his incredibly high asking price of the time of $30,000. Frank really despised the idea of his land servicing a bunch of Catholics.
Hell yeah.
The university declined his demands, but after Frank's death, his wife sold the land to the university for $9,000. Unhappy that his wife had gone against his wishes, Frank almost immediately began stirring up trouble from the grave. From the time the Commons opened in the 1950s, a number of strange happenings have been reported. A food service director reportedly quit after he heard footsteps following him down the hall, even when he was sure he was alone. His employees detailed similar stories, including dish carts moving on their own, pots and pans crashing to the ground, and food and silverware flying through the air. Others have claimed to hear the voice of an angry old man yelling in their ears on the stairs. According to another report, an employee was working late one evening and was about to call it a night when he heard a strange rattling sound coming from somewhere down the hallway. The sound grew louder until suddenly an enormous stainless steel food cart came barreling down the hallway on its own, headed straight for him. He barely had enough time to duck into a nearby office before the cart went crashing by. Another spirit that haunts the halls is a high school student named Paul Hilgens. Hilgens was attending boarding school at the university in 1923. At the time, it was tradition for students to take a dip in the Willamette River on the first day. Sadly, Paul drowned in the Willamette just hours after arriving to campus. Since his drowning, students and professors alike have reported the wet, dripping ghost of a young man in an old-fashioned bathing suit wandering down the halls. According to campus ghost historian James Covert, quote, "Two security people told me when the renovation was going on that they were in there late at night and they saw the young kid and they told him to get out. They walked towards him and he just disappeared." Covert also said that Paul is very playful and has a special attraction to a former secretary in Walschmidt Hall named Zulema. Paul would infect her computer and play with her typewriter. She eventually had to cut out a heart paper note and wrote, "Please don't interrupt my work." Another ghost that haunts the halls is an unidentified little girl who is often spotted in the Mago Hunt Theater. Her identity is unknown, but some believe her to be the spirit of a young girl who died years ago in a fire, while others speculate that she is the daughter of a former professor. The young girl has made appearances playing on the stage and in the audience, with one drama professor who claims to have noticed the figure of a young girl peering out at her from the audience, who then suddenly vanishes without a trace. And an honorable mention, Reed College. I saw a lot of reports about Reed College online being haunted. Reed is a private liberal arts college located in the Eastmoreland neighborhood of Portland, Oregon. It reportedly has a few different resident ghosts, including ghosts on Old Dorm Block and a ghost that roams the third floor of Prexy Residence Hall. Some people believe that these are spirits of students who overdosed in the 1960s, but I wasn't able to find any written encounters of these ghosts or any additional information about them. So unfortunately, I don't have a lot to share about Reed College, but if you have any ghost stories about Reed College or any other ghost stories or true crime stories to share, we would love to hear them. So please email us at mythandmistpodcast@gmail.com.
I think Reed College is haunted by Nutria.
Nutria?
Have you ever seen the Nutria at Reed College?
No.
Do you know, have you ever seen Nutria?
No.
Do you know what they are?
No.
They're so cute. They're like kind of like beavers and rats combined. They're like little, but they're like kind of like brown. They look like mini beavers, but they don't have the beaver tails. They have rat tails, but they have like webbed feet. And they live around Reed College and like swim in the little rivers.
Like, this is a real animal?
Yeah,
I've
look
never
'em up.
heard of those before.
I'll show them to you right now.
I did also read. I read I don't know if this was like a real report or if it was just someone writing satire, but I read something about zombie monkeys at Reed. Something about like a professor doing experiments on monkeys, and now it's common lore for the Reed campus.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Animal cruelty, animal testing is not okay.
Let me see.
But a zombie monkey would be really cute, probably.
Yeah.
Look, it's a nutria.
Oh, that's so cute. It looks like a beaver.
But see how they have... See how the tail is just like... It's like a big rat tail. But they're like... small.
That's cute. I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Nutria sounds like a artificial sweetener.
It does. You put in your iced tea.
Yeah. I thought these stories are interesting because of the reoccurring theme of a wet ghost.
Wet ghost.
Wet ghost. I think that wet ghost might be a mascot of ours.
The trademark.
Yeah. It's wet.
It's a wet ghost. It haunts you with moisture. I think that I noticed that all of the people that signed the guest book were women. So I'm wondering if these ghosts are smart and wise and are just like only showing themselves to the ladies.
Yeah. Or the accounts were all about children ghosts. So I wonder if they just made themselves known to women because they're
like, Mama.
Yeah, that's really sad.
It is. It's also creepy.
Yeah.
I don't like children when they're living.
Yeah.
Maybe I would like them more as specters.
Yeah, it's more tragic that way.
It is. And also I feel like I just feel bad for them. So I feel like, okay, it's all right.
Yeah.
But also the little the little kid, creepy little kid ghost trope is like used in so many movies where it's like someone thinks that they're, and in like ghost hunting quote documentaries too, where it's like, I saw a little girl, and then someone comes in and is like, that wasn't a little girl, it's a demon. And you know what I mean? Like, if they're like, the demon is always like, I'm just a little girl. But then it's like something way more nefarious.
Sure. One of the theories of ghost is that it's a spirit with unfinished business, right? Which would maybe make sense with children because they have so much unfinished business.
Yeah, how can their business literally hasn't even started yet?
I know. Maybe that's why there's so many child ghosts.
I will be honest, though. The image of a little boy dripping wet and going in circles is terrifying.
It is scary.
It makes me think of, like, when you're playing a video game and your little guy, like, glitches out and is just, like, stuck.
Well, if we live in a simulation, maybe that's actually what it is.
That could be what it is.
Yeah.
Like, literally, the alien upstairs has to be like, whoops, hang on, beep. and then the spinning child goes away.
Yeah. Ooh. Either way, terrifying.
I don't like anything that I just said. But I would love to spend the night in the Kennedy School.
Same.
And see what we can see.
Yeah,
which will probably be nothing if I'm there. But
yeah. I mean, let's be real. It's probably going to be nothing. Either way. But yeah, I would love to. It seems like a cool spot regardless. Not that I'm trying to hype up McMenamins in any way, but...
No, McMenamins is whatever, but I would like to see ghosts.
Yeah.
The Kennedy School is actually really fun, too. Like, that's the one that has, like, there's, like, a movie theater in it, right?
Mm-hmm. I think there's also a soaking pool.
Have you ever noticed any of the murals in that school, in Kennedy School?
I've never been to Kennedy School.
Oh, you've never been to... Okay. I was there once because I think they were playing, like, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation or whatever.
Cool. Classic.
Yeah.
Favorite.
And I went. But I had never been. And it has... I'm just going to show you this. It has absolutely terrifying murals. Very like midsummer vibes. Here, I'll just show you. And then we can get your... and then we can get your reaction on air.
Do you know if they were put in by McMenamins or if they...
I have no
existed
idea the origin of these murals. I just know that they're fucking weird.
It would be weird. Wow. Yeah, that's really weird. I mean...
There's a lot of, like, maypole, like, creepy children doing maypole-type activities with, like, vacant eyes.
I mean, with this having been a school for so long previously, I could see that being a weird-ass mural that someone
but there's, like,
put in a school.
There's a bunch of them, though.
Yeah. Like they're weird.
They're really weird. Like, I mean, this is like, it's just weird. It seems very like, it looks very like sacrificial child cult-y. Like, they're creepy. I don't know how you could paint those and not be like, yeah, this is
happening
this
in
is
this
creepy.
one.
I have no idea. We should post these to Instagram
we'll post
so people know what the fuck we're talking about.
This is making really good
like, what the hell
audio.
is happening here?
Ooh. Yeah, why are these weirdos on school
And
grounds?
they all kind of seem like they're maybe painted by the same weird person.
Yeah.
That just had a lot of thoughts about what went on in the school.
Yeah, we should look into this.
So they're interesting. Yeah, they're very strange in person, especially too, because they're huge.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, let's stay at Kennedy School and then that could be a ghost hunt.
That could absolutely be a ghost hunt.
That would be fun.
But we have to prepare for it better.
Yeah.
No more Ghost Talker app, which I still hate. Okay. I'm using the ghost detector now.
Put it next to that ghost on the window.
Okay, we're putting it next.
Oh, it's detecting.
It's
I see
not.
a ghost.
It's not even detecting this ghost. Haley. Maybe I'll put it next to Rhubarb's butt.
Oh,
Any ghosts in there?
probably.
Oh my God.
No. Does that mean it's the opposite of a ghost, or that there is a ghost?
I don't.
Ah! Oh my gosh, you got ghosts in there. Rhubarb, that makes sense. It's a ghost of a weasel, I'm telling you.
Okay, Rhubarb's butt is absolutely haunted.
Oh,
Oh, I think I offended her.
she gets offended so easily.
She's like, no, it's not haunted. Don't. I'm a lady.
Oh, poor you. The truth comes out.
The truth comes out of your butt.
Don't worry, listeners. We'll put a photo of Rue's butt.
She's like, stop talking about my butt.
She's
Weirdos.
so smart. She's so smart.
She's very sensitive. Like,
She's
she
really
can.
sensitive.
If you guys, if you saw her right now, you would know that she knew that we were talking about her butt.
She can 100% understand everything we say to her.
Yeah, she can. So what did we learn this week? Well, what have we learned about schools? Glad we're not children anymore. Glad we're not going to those institutions regularly because they're very creepy.
Wear a life jacket if you're going to swim in the Willamette your first day of class.
Maybe just don't swim in the Willamette. It's
Yes.
gross, and there's hella body parts in there.
Ooh, yeah.
Which, put a pin in that for a future episode.
Yeah.
We've learned that you cannot stab someone without making a huge mess.
Yes.
So consider that for any planned future stabbings. Do wear a poncho. Or maybe just don't stab them. Use a different method. Maybe
Cleaner.
something a little more tidy. Do you have anything that you want to add to this week's episode?
I don't think
Any
so.
hot takes? Any one for the road?
Oh.
I was going to say there is a John Wayne Gacy docuseries coming out on Paramount, and I don't have a Paramount Plus account, so if anybody cares to give me their login so that I can watch it for free, that would be greatly appreciated. There's also, I don't know if anybody's seen the Ed Gein show on Netflix, but it was made by the same guy that did the Dahmer one and the Menendez one, which was horrible. I'll probably still watch it, but I don't have high hopes. If anybody's watched it and would like to share their feelings on it, it may or may not determine whether or not I actually watch it, because I think Ed Gein is fascinating, and I would hate to be disappointed by a docuseries that doesn't portray things accurately.
I haven't seen it, but...
Did you watch the Menendez brothers one or the Dahmer one? The Dahmer one was okay. I do think that it's pretty weird and insensitive to make... I mean, a documentary is one thing, but to make these, like, dramatization type series that are just, like, for entertainment, and they actually show, like, very fairly detailed reenactments of real people that got killed. I think it's kind of weird and tacky. And yet I still watch them, so what does that make me?
Aren't you interested?
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like the car crash thing, you know? I do kind of wish that, I don't know. I wish that, I would like these things to get made, but get made maybe more tastefully. I don't know if that's possible. Can you be tasteful when you're reenacting the
I
shit?
also feel like we don't need as many of them. Like,
We
just
really
do
don't.
a good job and make a couple of them. We don't need...
The Ted Bundy one where Zac Efron played Ted Bundy, I was like, oh, and then didn't they just remake another Ted Bundy one?
I have no
and
idea.
it's Chad Michael Murray playing him.
Unnecessary.
I'm like, why are they getting all these weird Disney heartthrobs to play the most horrible man?
I don't know. I don't tend to watch a lot of true crime because that's what's scared. Like I'm scared of true crime. I don't love it. It makes me feel weird, so I don't watch it.
That's how I feel about aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's good. That just means that I can watch those things and you can watch the alien things, and then we can get it secondhand from each other, so it's like less
scary,
traumatic.
Deliver it.
Although
nicer.
I did make the mistake of getting stoned the other night and trying to put on an alien movie. I don't know what possessed me.
What one?
The Fourth Kind.
Okay.
Needless to say, I promptly turned it off and freaked out.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like aliens used to be fun, and then they got too real, and now I think they're still fun, but just a little doses every once in a while.
Yeah, I need to like micro dose, or else I have a bad alien trip that lasts like 3 months.
You don't want that.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
I already have to sleep with the blinds closed, because if I can see the sky, I'm positive that there's going to be something flying by that abducts me.
Oh, speaking of aliens, we do have an upcoming alien episode, probably. But I would love it if you would submit your UFO alien stories, listeners.
I want to hear them. They're going to scare me probably so much that I feel physically sick, but I still want to hear them. So, yes, please do send us. Can't plug it enough. We got our first email.
Thank you, Annie.
That was extremely exciting. Yes, thank you very much.
Gave us some really good recommendations of topics to cover in the future.
Love that.
We'd love to hear from you.
So yeah.
I just created a Facebook page for the pod, so if you would like to follow us on Facebook, look up Myth and Miss Podcast. If you'd like to follow us on Instagram, follow us at Myth and Miss Podcast. If you would like to send us an email, email us at mythandmistpodcast@gmail.com.
Are you seeing the pattern here, folks?
Pretty easy to find online.
And that's going to wrap up this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sweet dreams.
This episode edited by 88.8.